Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the Butler's Pantry Laundry Room Reveal. I am so excited to be sharing this video today because this project is officially complete. A little background if you're new to my channel, we bought this cottage home last summer. It was built in, I think, the 1940s, and it was built to look like an English cottage, and that it does. The bones are incredible, so much charm. It's just a beautiful, beautiful house, but the interior was a complete fixer-upper. I mean, just everything had to be updated. Everything was painted crazy colors, and one of the things that we wanted to do right off the bat, along with our kitchen, which is almost complete, so a reveal will be coming for that soon, is this room behind me. It is right off the kitchen. It is where our laundry is, so it's part laundry room, but also it is part pantry space because the kitchen that we're in, it's not the biggest kitchen. We don't have a ton of storage, and I really did want to maximize as much as possible. So we kind of morphed this room into half butler's pantry and half laundry room. And if you saw the before when I did the house tour, or if you follow me on Instagram, woo, it was a little scary in there. It was my least favorite room in the house. It was just very ugly, no function whatsoever. It was very like kind of just mismatched shelving and just exposed very dirty stone walls, and it was my least favorite room, and I could not wait to completely transform it. And that is exactly what we did. So if you guys want to see how we took this just dirty rundown room and turned it into my dream pantry and laundry room, let's go. So actually the very first thing we're going to start with is this door that leads into this room. There's a story with this door. I've had this door, this antique door that I found at an antique shop locally. I've had it for I think like 3 years. I was planning on using it in the renovation at the farmhouse, which is our old house, which we never ended up doing. So I've been holding on to it, waiting for a chance to use this door, and my goodness, it was made for this spot. First off, it's a beautiful antique wood door. I love all the details on it. It actually came off of a Victorian home in Cape May, New Jersey, which is close to the beach that I grew up going to as a child. So it feels kind of nostalgic. It just feels right. But it is almost completely see-through. It's just kind of this wood detail on the edging, and we do have plexiglass in there. But I love that because you can see into the room from the kitchen, and it actually just feels like an extension. It makes the kitchen feel bigger because your eye kind of travels into this room, but at the same time we have a door that we can close, so it is a separate space. You know, if we're entertaining and I want to kind of keep the mess back there, I can just close the door. Also, when the washer and dryer is running and it's loud, we can close the door to kind of cut down that noise. So it couldn't be more perfect, and I just love it so much. We had to like kind of jimmy rig it in there. Our contractor is literally the most patient man, and he really helped us to make sure that it would actually fit in this space. Okay, so Bo wants to go inside, so I think now it's time to go in. Okay, welcome to the pantry laundry room. So basically when we started this project, we gutted everything out, or like demoed everything that was in here originally. And we had to do all the like not fun stuff, like the not pretty exciting updates. We had to rework a lot of the plumbing that was in here, and like run a water line to where the fridge was going to be. We had to move some of the electrical around. And then with the washer and dryer, we had like one of those big vent tubes going out actually the window. And I did not want a big giant tube going across this room. They're ugly. I wouldn't be able to have a cabinet here. So that was like a high priority to kind of rework that. And we were able to, I think he did it up through the ceiling. I can't really remember, but anyway, we were able to reroute the dryer vent. And there was another like tube too that I can't remember exactly what it was, but that all got fixed, and where it was like behind the wall and we wouldn't see it anymore. So then, speaking of walls, we did put in drywall on a couple of the walls. So half of the room had like original beadboard that has been here for I don't know how long, but and I wanted to keep it. I didn't want to touch it. And then we drywalled the other 2 walls, and I wanted to put beadboard on those as well, just so it would all kind of be seamless and all match. And then we ended up just obviously painting it all the same color, and it all flows together nicely. There is also beadboard on the ceiling as well, along with a lot of pipes and like HVAC ductwork. And there was actually a lot more than this before, but we were able to get rid of a lot of old pipes that were no longer functioning. They were just kind of hanging out there. So we got rid of basically everything that we could. I honestly don't really mind the pipes up there. I feel like I don't even really notice them. We painted them all. We painted the ceiling and all of the ductwork and piping that's up there. What is it? White Dove by Benjamin Moore. So it all just kind of disappears. You don't really see it. You don't really notice it. And then for the beadboard in here, I knew I wanted to go a little bit bold and kind of have that moody vibe. There is only this one window in this room, so it's not a very bright room. So I just, instead of trying to like brighten and lighten it up with like a white or like a very light color, paint color on the walls, I decided just to lean into it instead and do something that was moody and dark. So the color that we ended up going with is Cedar Path by Benjamin Moore, and it's this really pretty deep green color. I was originally looking at even darker greens. The one I was really drawn to was called, I think it's like Chimichurri by Benjamin Moore, but it just would end up looking like almost black in here with a lack of light, natural light. So this color ended up being perfect for what I was going for. It's this really beautiful, rich green. It's got a little bit of warmth to it. Like I feel like it almost has like a little bit maybe yellow in it. And I just love it. It feels warm, but it still has kind of like that deep, moody richness that I was going for. And since this was a smaller space and it's not like a main living space like our kitchen or something, I felt totally like confident going for something a little bit out of the box for me. I don't typically go dark and moody, so this was kind of a fun place to kind of try that out in. And then as for the flooring, that was a very simple choice because I just continued with the same tile that we have in the kitchen. It's just a kind of a stone look, large format gray tile with a little bit of warmth to it. And we did the same kind of pattern in the kitchen so that there was a lot of like movement and just a little bit more interest in the floor. So once all of the rough-in was completed and the beadboard and the tiling was in, we could start to do the fun stuff. So we installed white cabinets. They're the same cabinets that we got for our kitchen. They're from Lillian Cabinets, so we were able to just order them like direct from them. We had them built and then our contractor installed them. They're just simple white cabinets. In my dream world, I would have had inset cabinets, but that's okay, it's fine. These were like a good budget option, and I certainly don't mind them. But we kept it consistent with the kitchen because I wanted this to feel like an extension of the kitchen, so I wanted that to match. And I absolutely adore the hardware that I picked for the cabinets. I almost kind of wish I did the same pulls in the kitchen as I did in here, but I wanted to do something a little bit different, a little bit fun, because again, this is not like a main living space, so I just kind of wanted to make like a little bit bolder choices in here. So the drawer pulls I got from Etsy, and I will link for you guys. I love them. I find them so beautiful. They have this just kind of fun, like floral antique vibe to them with really beautiful details, detailing in the brass. And anyone that comes in here is like, I love those. I always get compliments on them. People seem to love them on Instagram, and I certainly adore them. And then just for our cabinets, I just did very simple, just unlacquered brass knobs. They're the same ones that we have in the kitchen. And then for countertops in here, I didn't want to do the same quartz that we have in the kitchen. I wanted to do butcher block. I feel like butcher block is just right for a butler's pantry. I don't know why I feel that way. I just do. Maybe because our old house, we had butcher block in the butler's pantry, and I knew I wanted to do that for looks, but also for, I mean, it's a very affordable option. So we just got big, like 8-foot butcher block slabs, I don't know what you call them, from Floor & Decor, and then we stained them. I ended up going with red chestnut from Minwax. I'm 99% sure. I'll link the correct one down below if that's not correct, but I'm pretty sure that's it. And I really wanted to, I feel like a lot of times you see butcher block is like really, a lot of times it's not stained at all, and it's just finished, or it's like a really like bright kind of light wood, kind of a beachy feel. And I wanted to basically go in the exact opposite direction of that. So I went with like a red, which I was a little nervous it was going to be too red in here, like against the green. I didn't want it to feel like Christmas. But I'm really glad I went for it because I love the way it turned out. I love the contrast between the two. I love the warmth of it. It's like the complete opposite of modern. Like it feels like it just feels like the right choice for this kind of cottagey space, this cottage, but also for this space. So looking at the laundry side of the room, we obviously have cabinetry that goes down to the washer and dryer. We were able to have one upper cabinet next to the window for more storage. We did install a fire clay. I think this is a 30-inch fire clay sink. Gotta have a sink in the laundry room. I feel like I'm always dealing with stains with all these small children. So I love having a sink in here. I feel like it's also great for like watering plants. We have our Berkey filter right here, so we can easily fill that up. So it's just really nice having a nice big sink in here that we can really put to work. I love this faucet so much. I really wanted to do a wall mounted faucet because I just love the way that they look, and knowing that we were going to be completely redoing the plumbing, it just felt like a really simple choice, simple thing to go for because it wouldn't take that much extra work. At least I don't think it did. You can ask my contractor. Anyway, so we have this beautiful faucet here. I love it. I love the knobs. It just feels very antique and kind of goes with the cottage vibe. We've got, like I said, our Berkey filter here. This little stand I get asked about all the time. I got it on Amazon years ago. If it's still available, I will link it, but as far as I know, I haven't been able to find it in a long time, but I've got that up on a stand. We've got our diffuser here, a little like hand soap and thieves cleaner, just basic things that you need by your sink, of course. And then I have our big oil shelf up here. This is where I store all of like our, kind of all the oils I basically want at an arm's reach, and this is like the main oil storage in our house. I love having them out where I can see them, and I was so excited to have like a space to put this. I didn't want it like in our kitchen because I don't know, I just want them like kind of tucked away for like looks, but they're also very close and like where we can reach them at any time, very easily. And then I also just have a couple of big anchor jars with laundry products. I've got my like a DIY scent booster that I make for our laundry. I also have our, we like to use like bleach alternatives. I love the powder from, the oxygen powder from Azure Standard. That stuff's amazing. And then I have this little rooster canister here, which is where we stick lint from the dryer. We also have this cute little window up here. It's kind of like a box window. I think it's so beautiful. I stuck a little pothos plant up there, which I'm hoping does well and will start to kind of grow down like over towards the sink. We'll see how it goes. I would love to have a bunch of plants up there, but I'm starting small because I'm not the best with plants. So we're gonna see how the pothos does. And then maybe I can have like a whole little collection of plants up there. Okay, and then as for the washer and dryer, if you follow me on Instagram, then you were probably a part of this saga dilemma, I don't know what you want to call it, but basically the way that our washer and dryer was installed, and because there's like a dryer vent pipe that is behind it, they're not flush or like very close to the wall. There was this awkward gap between where the washer and dryer, where the wall is, and then where the washer and dryer starts, and it looked very awkward. Like you would look in the room and I feel like it was like the first thing you saw because it just looked bizarre. So I knew I wanted to somehow cover that up. Like I was not going to live with that in this beautiful room that, we worked hard on and spent a lot of money on. I was not going to have this awkward gap that I was just going to look at every day. And I had such a hard time figuring out how to cover it. I really wanted to put a curtain up, but because the way that the HVAC, where the HVAC is on the ceiling, and the fact that there's two separate different like pipes up there, I could not figure out a curtain rod that I could hang, whether it was from the ceiling or if it was like a corner curtain rod. Like I had such a hard time. A lot of people on Instagram were saying build something with beadboard. And one, I just didn't really want to do that because I didn't want to spend a lot more money. I didn't want to like physically have to build something. And I feel like there's also just enough beadboard in this room. Like it just would have been more beadboard and it would have been more green, and I just didn't want to do that. I feel like it was just too much. But this also felt like a really good opportunity to bring in like some texture and some interest, and to really kind of bring in that cottage feel, kind of like how, you know, a lot of times sinks will have like a little curtain underneath instead of a cabinet. I loved that idea for this like particular problem. So I found, well, actually I did not find it. One of my friends sent it to me. She was following along on Instagram. It's called an 180 degree or a swing arm curtain rod. So the purpose of it is actually a curtain rod that swings 180 degrees, which I don't need, but it only installs on one wall and then it just sticks out, which is literally perfect. And I was able to find one that was just like long enough to fit across the washer and dryer. So that is exactly what we installed. And then I put up this beautiful floral curtain from like my favorite linen shop. It's actually on Amazon and I will link it down below. I love, love, love their textiles. I think they're beautiful. They're very kind of like a French vibe. And I adore this curtain. I think it looks so pretty. I love like the splash of color and the floral. The green really ties in with the green in the walls. And I am just thrilled with how that turned out. And it also didn't cost a lot of money. And I just love it so much. And then on this back wall here, I found this really pretty print just from a local antique shop. It's one of my favorites that I like to go to often, or really, not, I shouldn't say often, but as often as I can, I go. I love when you look into this room from the kitchen, like through the beautiful door. This photo is like centered perfectly and it's just like perfect for like, you know, like sight lines looking back through into this room. I love that the green in the photo goes with the green in the walls. It's kind of has like a, I mean, it's fruit on there, so it's like a kitchen vibe. And I just think it looks really cute. And it's the perfect thing for that back wall, just nice and simple, but makes it look pretty. So that's everything that's on the laundry side of the room. But now moving over to the pantry side, we of course have our refrigerator here, which I was so happy to move out of the main kitchen because there is just not really space for it. It looked kind of ridiculous. And this way it's tucked back here, and I really don't mind it being in here also, like at all. Our kitchen is not very big, so I feel like a lot of people have big kitchens. Their fridge is probably even further than like where my sink and my oven is if you have a large kitchen. So it's really not a big deal that it's back here. It's not very far. And then next to the fridge, we have some more cabinetry and countertop space, which is really nice. We moved our espresso machine back in here. So it's kind of like a little coffee bar back here, which is really nice. I like that that's kind of tucked out of the way. And we've got plenty of storage for, you know, like dry goods and all the, you know, all the pantry things. So something that's interesting on this side of the room, when I was originally kind of drawing up plans for what I wanted to do, I really wanted the cabinetry to go all the way to the wall. So we would have had like another lower and upper cabinet. But our electrical panel is in this room and you have to have a 30-inch clearance. So we ended up kind of having this open space, which I was originally very bummed about because I just wanted to maximize the storage and I also didn't want it to like look awkward. But turns out I'm actually so glad that we did this because it gives us this little kind of like tuck-in space in here. One, we've got our Dyson, which I still need to hang on the wall, and our little like Tinico vacuum mop that we love. So that kind of has a space to go where it's tucked away and it's not really seen. But also we have this little space here where I can put a drying rack because this is our laundry room, and that can also be tucked off to the side when we're like air drying clothes. So it's not just like out in the way, because this is not, I mean, it's plenty big for what purpose it serves, but it's also not a massive space. So it's really nice that I can have like an area to kind of tuck things away. And it ended up being like a super functional space for us. Our contractor also built out this little like beadboard frame to put over the electrical panel, so you don't actually see it, which I love. I love an attention to detail. This space has just turned out better than I could have even imagined. Like the before and after is just absolutely crazy, but what's even more important is it's so functional and it's just allows us to have more storage and space, and it's just, I'm just so happy with it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing the transformation of this room, and of course seeing the final reveal. Anything that I can link, I will link down below that we used in this room. But that is all I have. That pretty much wraps up easily the most extensive before and after project we have ever done. And again, I really hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe, join my little community here on YouTube. Davey's being very loud. I think she's trying to say goodbye. I share some home content here and there as we're fixing up this beautiful cottage home that definitely needs a lot of TLC, but I share a lot of food and nutrition and natural living content here on my channel as well. But that is all I have for this video. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.